Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we got the homie July in the voice. What's good?
What's happening? What's going on? Thank you for having me on here.
No problem, my brother. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule, you know what I'm saying, and just sit with us and tell us how you first got started with this music industry, man. What was it like for you, man?
Hey, you know what? That's a funny question, right? So, it actually started from small, right? And I got serious about it in 2016, but it started from small. I was always like writing in my book and stuff like that. From the moment I heard songs from, because my family used to turn around and listen to a lot of songs, right? So it's not just hip hop for me, right? It's like Phil Collins, Led Zeppelin, like all kinds of different stuff, right?
Yeah, you have.
And what got me really truly into like really getting into like the spirit of hip hop and music in general, right, is Wu-Tang. Once I heard of Wu-Tang, once that played off the radio, man, it was a wrap, man, bro.
Yeah. Them drums was just hitting different, bro. Like, I don't know. It's still to this day, bro. You can listen to that song or any song really 1,000 times, bro. As long as RZA is behind the production, bro. You can listen to anything 1,000 times, bro, and then come back, you know what I mean, and still sound fresh. You'll never get tired of it.
Yeah, because it withstands the test of time. And so I'm glad I was introduced to that early, right? Because my family always played music that withstood the test of time. And that's what resonated in my mind. Like, I want my music to do that, like outlive me.
What is the question that you ask yourself as an artist to make your artistry and your music stand the test of time?
How impactful is this? And is this truly coming from me? Right. So I like to try to make sure that my music is from us. You know, we have our influences. We have people that we look up to in the music area. But I like to make sure that this is coming out from me. Like, what is my message? Like, when somebody turns around and listens to this, they're not just getting, oh, this is great music, right? They're getting my actual character. Like, this is what he stands for. This is what he's about, right? So I always try to make sure before I release it, is this something that, like, if you had a natural conversation with me, you can tie this back to the music song.
Oh yeah, right? Definitely. I feel that. So all right, so you said you've been doing music since you were young. I know you said you started in 2016, but were there any experiences that kind of led to you taking it serious in 2016 before that?
Yeah, it was it's gonna sound funny, but one of the things that turned around and started really getting me to really be serious about it is kind of seeing like how it impacts people's lives in general. When you start really doing music, people start gravitating to it. So like even watching shows like American Idol, I know it sounds funny, right? American Idol or like AGT, and seeing how impactful those music artists were, and then how that took them and how that trajected, right? That resonated with me, right? I was always like, I want to do that. Like I want to turn around and be able to make something that like really helps somebody, right? Or really like kind of gets somebody through a bad day or creates a happy childhood moment for them. Like I want to be a part of that, right?
Experience.
And then as it got further into it, right? As because I'm also Christian, right? As my spiritual side turned around and deepened, right? It got into a much more spiritual level of it for it, which is what led to 2016, where it's like I felt like my calling was always in music. And then, in 2016, it finally led in my spirit, like, hey man, you're not pursuing what you should be doing. Right. And so I picked back up the pen. I started turning around and making tracks again, and it hit completely different than when I was first doing it.
Nah, I definitely feel that. All right. So at what point did you make your first song? Was it 2016 or was it previous? Oh, okay. Tell me about that, man. Let's talk about that.
So I actually made my first album at the same time in 2016. So I just like jumped head first into it. I was like, I got all these creative ideas.
You kind of had that Wayne flow going on. You know what I'm saying? Just hopped in the booth, locked yourself in, and then came out and you was like, album done.
Yo, it's funny you should say that, man, because I jumped in the car and no lie, man, I turned around, wrote down on stuff, I memorized it, and I just did like one take on all of the different ones, right? And I started just spewing it out. And so my first album was like, I think it was called Critical Mass. Yeah, it's called Critical Mass. Okay. And it was like,
so you say you did it in a car?
Yeah, I did. I recorded it in the car.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. So hold on, let's break this down, bro, because I mean you might be helping somebody out there that's like, I don't have nowhere to record, I don't got my parents always home, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the car setup, man. What was that like? Were you doing it off a phone? Were you doing it off a mic? Like, tell me about what you had in the stew.
So what I would do is I would take the mic, right? And I would hang the mic down, so it's like right in front of my mouth, and then I have my headsets on, right? So I can be able to kind of keep in line with the beat, but I had it also playing off of like the car's stereo. So I did this weird setup where it's like the music was surrounded inside of it, as if I was like actually inside of the song, and then I would just record.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, so you had your laptop, or was it something that you kind of like hooked everything up to your phone?
It was it hooked everything up to my phone, so I did it kind of like I want to say like kind of like mixtape style. Like I saw when I first started, I wasn't so much like production. It was just like it's in my brain. I gotta write it. When I write it, I gotta do it. And when I do it, I gotta record it, and now I gotta release it.
Word. So nowadays, are you writing the songs and making the beats, or engineering? Like, what's the setup like for you?
But now it's much more professional, right? There's a thought process. I make sure I turn around, I write it. I make sure the beat goes in line with what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I'll make my beats? So for the most part, I mostly make my own beats. Sometimes I turn around and get beats from people who I trust. Because here's a little 411 for anybody listening to this. All those beats that you grab from all the producers who's selling it and stuff like that are not always great beats to get, because some of them will leave like empty filler beats. I hate that so much, right? So if nobody understands what I mean, it's like it'll be like this beat where it's like it sounds like something, but it's missing stuff, right? And now you paid money for that, right? And now you got to use that, right? And now it's licensed and all this other stuff. So I connected with producers who I know if I'd be like, hey man, I want you to help me with this project, give me this cool beat, so that way I can do this. They're gonna make sure it's like a beat I can actually use.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that might be able to help maybe not only just you or anybody who's listening, man, is like for me, bro, like, when I first started going to studio, I didn't have no studio or anything like that. So like I had to make sure like my songs were ready. So like in advance, I would write the song first and then go ahead and do the business side, you know what I'm saying, and make sure, okay, this is gonna make the cut, I'm gonna actually release this first, you know what I'm saying. So then I'm like, all right, then I'm gonna buy it, so that way it's not like I'm just spending so much money out. But the way that some producers operate, and you know what I'm saying, I'm guilty of this, sometimes the full version isn't out there for people to write to, so they have to buy the beat, you know what I'm saying. So
it's funny you should say that. That's the prep time. So I do. That's the prep time part. So I'll actually, when I'm shopping for beats, I'll listen to the beat first, right?
Gotcha.
And then I'll turn around and see how well the beat is constructed. If it's something where I can take it as it is, right? I'll take it as it is. If it's something where, hey, I gotta probably add something to this, then that's when I buy like the premium version, the one where I get the stems and stuff like that. And then I'll turn around and doctor it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do the pre. Yeah, I do the pre-listening, I write to it, I make sure I have everything together, and then once I finally like, all right, I got everything I want to do with it, then I'll turn around and make the purchase.
I think that's dope, man, because at the end of the day, as a producer, I look at things kind of different too. For me, when I put out tracks, man, like my beats are pretty much like a blank canvas. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like we could do anything with it. If you want to take out the bass at a certain part, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? You want to add a little effect on the sample, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the communication. And when you locked in with a person and a producer that and you vibe with, and they like your music and you like their style and stuff like that, it's nothing to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm buying the license that's necessary for me to get the track outs and stuff like that, but can you help me maybe arrange this, or can we go back and forth and like make this the best art that we could make? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you vibing like that. You know what I'm saying? So like I really salute people that like hear it and they're like, oh, but I would want it to go like this, and then they tweak it themselves and it becomes something completely different, man. That's when the magic happens, bro, for real.
See, and that didn't start until I really got into making my own beats, and once I started getting into like the engineering portion of it, because I always had appreciation for it, but it's something about when you start doing it yourself, you're like, oh, I can hear this. Oh, I know how I would turn around and do if I did this, man. And it's different. That's why I was like making my own beats for the most part, because I know my pockets, right? I know exactly, like, I'm gonna stop here, I'm gonna pause here, I'm gonna go fast here, like.
And then even if you don't, like, when you reach a certain point and maybe the inspiration runs out or whatever, then you could be like, time for the beat switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go back in and doctor it up some more and just make something completely different. Maybe slow the sample down and flip the beat. I mean, endless creativity, bro, when you're in charge of the canvas. ends, you know, like when you know how to do certain stuff, you could just do whatever you want, like the world is yours. But that's what makes that combination of an artist producer so special to me, at least, because they know what it is that they want to say, they know the vibe that they want to give off, and they're able to kind of create whole worlds of music. Like I was telling you before we got on this call, man, like listening to your music, it doesn't sound like anything out. I can't like I can hear influence, but I'm not pinpointing like, oh, you're trying to be like this person, or like, you know, some people, man, like, you know, they are straight copycat carbon copies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. They like, you know, a lot of people trying to be somebody else. They trying to be Travis Scott. It's lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just copy everything.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate that because I was guilty of that at first, man. Like when I first turned around and went
everybody
into,
is.
I ain't gonna lie. I tried to do Eminem style because that's not. Hey, listen, for anybody listening, I'm sorry, man. That's my goal.
Eminem.
Sorry, I'm not apologetic about that. That's my goal.
He is a crazy lyricist, right, bro. Like. So, big respect to Eminem, man.
I tried to do that, and then I went down this other weird lane because I was getting a lot of beats from Anno Domini Nation. I went down this other lane where I tried to copy Tech 9, right? I tried to copy Tech 9, and then I was like, after a while, I was like, what are you doing?
Hey, for real, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. That is the best way to find your style. I ain't gonna lie, because like, even if you copied somebody completely, and there's nothing wrong with copying, especially when you're beginning. Like, I'm not trying to discredit any of that. But even when you are copying exactly like the person and stuff like that, you're not gonna sound anything like the person. You know what I'm saying? You know, you try to be Michael Jackson, like we could tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, I'm just saying. Like, so, you know, going from there, you're able to see what works for you, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like. Oh, okay, I like when I try to like kind of write like Tech 9. You know what I'm saying? Because I get in these rhythms to where it's like the lyrics start flowing out like a machine gun. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, you notice certain things about yourself as an artist to where it's like you wouldn't necessarily do that if you just like, all right, now let's just rhyme words. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that would work out for you, but a book that's helped me kind of like get rid of that imposter syndrome to where like I felt bad even trying to make something of a similar vibe with somebody was Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist. And I say this a lot on the podcast for those that listen. If you haven't bought that book yet, go and buy the book. This is like the 20th time you heard me say that book. Go and buy that book, man. It's a great book for all artists. All of his books are amazing, but yeah, definitely that helped me see that like, yo, when you copy somebody, you still not really copying them because it's not completely gonna sound like them. So you know, if you're able to kind of step outside that judgment of judging yourself like copying, you know, somebody, you're able to use it as a stepping stone to then turn it into something completely different. You know, you it doesn't have to see the light of day, but you know, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, like, you got to try new things. You got to have fun with this. And if you're inspired by somebody else and it takes the artistry to a different level, that's the magic, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That would be nice. I actually ended up getting a crash course in that from a different area, right? This might sound like a flex, it might not, I don't know. But the I don't know if he's still the CEO, but the then CEO of Capitol Records, Jason Flom, right? Who was a friend of my cousin, right? He turned around and would create the moment that would then make me lead to some real self-discovery about my style.
How so?
Well, my cousin turned around and played, without asking me, my cousin turned around and played my music for him, right? And he listened to it. He liked it, but he was confused about something. And so he then shared that with my cousin, who then shared the message back to me, right? And so he was like, my cousin would ask me a question that he told my cousin to ask me, right? And he was like, what's the kind of music you make? And you know, when you first hear that, when you first starting out, you're like, well, you know, I do hip hop, sometimes I do rock. And then he asked the question again. He's like, what's the kind of music you make? Well, you know, sometimes I turn around and go into like cool melodies and stuff. He's like, what's the kind of music you make? And I was like, yo, why you keep asking me that, right? And then so he was like, because you can't answer the question. And so what I would come to realize is he wasn't talking about like the stylistic nature of it. It's like, what does your music define? What is the brand, right? And so that's when it clicked on me. I was like, no one's gonna know that by me copying somebody else's brand. Like Eminem knows who he is, right? Tech 9 knows who he is, right? They're solidified, right? No one's gonna know that by me turning around and doing that, right? But they will understand it by me finding my own brand. And that's what led to what you hear now, right? Where it's spiritual stuff that kind of focuses on mental health, right? But it talks about relatable things, right? It gets kind of like deep into your face and personal by you hearing like my inner thoughts, right? So it's almost like I made you go inside my brain and you're intruding, right, in the conversations I have with myself on a daily basis.
That's fire. That's fire. So for you, man, for someone that's never listened to your music, how would you describe your music to them?
So my music focuses on getting away from the fact that we always have to feel like we have to be in this cool lane, right? Like I want my music to make you feel comfortable about thinking about things that people have made it almost like taboo to think about. Like think about how I want my life to go forward, right? Think about how I utilize this job to get to where I want to be, right? How do I turn around and make better of myself in the career path that I've chosen, right? How do I correct mistakes that I made in the past, right? All these things that for some reason, and especially in hip hop, right, has been deemed as boring to talk about. Like nobody wants to hear the conscious stuff. I found a way, or I would say, God led in my spirit, right, to find a way to do conscious stuff, right, without it having to be boring or preachy.
That's love. That's love, man. I believe that God puts that in us, you know what I'm saying, of course, to give him all the glory. Because, you know, our testimonies and, you know, the things that we've been through by experience can help somebody else, you know what I'm saying, in the most magical way, bro, just off of a song. Like, they may stumble upon you going through the exact thing that you're talking about in that exact moment, and they're like, nobody understands, but yo, you understand, you've been through this shit, you know what I'm talking, you know what I'm saying, and then now you got a super fan for the rest of their life, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like the conscious rap game, you know, people deem it boring, whatever the case is, but that's timeless music. You understand what I'm saying? Like people grow with that. Like we talked about, you know what I'm saying? Like Wu-Tang and stuff like that. Like, you know, like that's stuff that people still listen to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because they have experiences and memories with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with the conscious thing, it's a slow bag, but it's the long run because like a new trend isn't going to stop people from going back and listening to you or not being a fan. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if they're a fan of you at one time, they're always going to be a fan of your music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I had to learn that, right? That was the tricky part. I was like, you know, at first when I realized, okay, you're definitely going to be one of those artists where you dedicate more to the old school style of music and stuff like that, because it's not just, you know, hip hop I do, you know, it's rock, and sometimes I do pop track, but I always go into this like melodic pocket story type telling type thing. So it's like, okay, you're gonna be one of those people, right? And so the thought process behind that was, I am gonna be one of those people, but I'm not trying to recreate a retro sound. Like I'm not trying to like go back in time and be like Breauxkin, right? Breauxkin was Breauxkin, right? So even though I'm in the same vein as the style of rap that he does, right, I'm doing it in a sense from now, right? I'm not like trying to tap into back in his stuff, right, and put the boom bap clap beats. Like I'll turn around and still do the same thing over a trap beat, right? Like it's like modernize it.
Nah, I dig that, bro. So we talked about your subject matter right now, but when you first started, were you talking about the same things always and talking about that higher level of consciousness, or were you talking about other things and kind of had to like find what exactly you really wanted to talk about and what you stood for as an artist?
It was in there, but it was blocked by a lot of like over technical rap. Because at first I used to turn around and do a lot of analogies. Like I was always like, I was like how it is today, where I was always focused on, I got to put an entendre, I got to put another entendre, I got to impress them with entendres. And so I was always focused on that, and it would lead to like a lot of like meaningless lyrical stuff that I was saying. And then every now and again within that line would be something like motivating or uplifting. And then later on it was kind of like more so like aggressive. So I was cursing a lot, right? You know, I was, you know, trying to be emphatic and make heavy points, right? And then I was like, I don't need any of that. And so I dialed it down, and I was like, yo, just talk, right? Like I like literally, like when I turn around and do my lyrics, I literally I go in my mind first, I go in my mental, I go in my thought process, and I literally just talk. I'm talking through lyrics.
That's real dope when you could do that, man. I mean, cause like I went through the same thing when I first started, bro. Like I was trying to make the dopest stuff I done ever heard before. Like, yo, when they hear these bars, and it's like most of the time, bro, people can't even put two and two to get what you're trying to say.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
oh,
Like no. they're like, did you hear that punchline? And they're like, what are you talking about? Oh, you talking about the music? Like they ain't even paying attention, bro. Like, so, you know, most of the time, bro, you know, because music has came into this thing to where it's like, now it's like a passive thing. Like we're always listening. All this stuff, yeah. Like we listening to music while we playing video games, we listen to music while we driving. Like we're always doing something else while music is in the background. So like, you know, like it, of course we have the people that like, of course everything has to be lyrical. Like, you know, I love lyrics myself. But, you know, for the most part, for the masses, they just listen to music to listen to music. They care about the vibe. They, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when I started noticing that and like what became more popular, not necessarily on the radio, but just everything that grabbed my attention personally, I'm like, yo, you know, there's a punchline here and there, but it's just not. Everything is like the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I got 5,000 entendres, exactly. and that helped me a lot, right? Because that's what I do. I can do the fast patterns. I can give you tons of entendres, right? I like put anybody's name up. I promise you, I can turn around and match them for entendres, right? That's that confidence, right? I can match them for entendres. But what I realize is more impressive is if I can turn around and have the same impact with subtle lyrics. I'm onto something. Like if I could hit you hard by just saying something simply uplifting, right, in a nice, cool pattern way, right? Who's doing that?
You know, to be honest, bro, like I kind of figured out, like through God, I ain't gonna even take credit for it. But I figured out through God, like my testimony and the experiences that I've been through and like how I feel about certain things is like my bread and butter. Personally, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even be focusing on punchlines. Like sometimes they happen by accident. Like I didn't even know I put two and two together. Like I said some double entendres and stuff like that, and then I go back and listen to it when it come out, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm really nice with it. Like I did that by accident. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, it's cool, man, when you could just literally talk to somebody and connect through experiences, through your music, something that just birthed out of thin air, to be honest, through God. So I'm gonna ask you this. You know, you mentioned God. Seemed like a man of faith. How important is faith to you?
It's very important. I wouldn't have gotten this far and gotten solidified in where I'm at. I always tell people, and they think I'm joking, but I'll be like, when I turn around and make music, the Holy Ghost got the pen, bro. Like I'm just enjoying the ride. So I literally got. And everybody talk about Ghost Rider. I got a Holy Ghost Rider. Right?
That's fine.
So I just I blank out, like just like how you talk about. I blank out and I just get like deep in whatever the zone is, and I don't come out until after I'm done. Right. And so that helps because through music, I got really deeply even more connected to God than I was. Right. And then, you know, doing my Bible studies, turn around, reading into the word. Right. All of that helped shape the way my music was going. Right. And so, you know, a lot of people turn around and be like, well, why don't you just do gospel? Because that's not where I'm at. Right. However, it doesn't mean that I can't still speak about God inside of my music, right? It doesn't mean I still can't give you a spiritual side. It's just that aspect, focus in the parameter where I'm tying it together, right? So I'm helping those who's not going to open up to New Testament, right? Or who's not going to turn around and go to Revelation. I'm helping them connect the dots on how this matters in life.
No, I definitely feel that. For you, man, like, you know, everybody's experience is different. What type of advice would you give somebody that wants to connect with God, maybe has not had any past experience with God, but would like to find God?
Take the pressure off of yourself about thinking that you have to be perfect in order to do that, right? That's first and foremost, right? Because none of us is perfect, right? I'm still a hot mess, right? So take the pressure off of starting that, right? And then find a comfortable place to turn around and do it, whether it's in a Bible study you join in one time, or you got a friend who you know, just tell them, hey, you know, I want to know more about this, right? And just begin to have the conversation, right? And, you know, also pray. You'd be surprised, man, if you start, even if you never turned around and did it before, you'd be surprised if you start praying how quickly the Spirit invokes into you and the words start coming to you. You start peaking your mindset about, you know what, maybe there is something to this. Right?
No, it's definitely powerful, man. Prayer changed my life, bro. I'm not gonna say that like I didn't believe in it. I'm just gonna say like, you know, I wasn't experienced in it. And then when I started doing it, I noticed how the answers that I was looking for were right in front of me the whole time. But I just had to be still enough to be able to God giving me those answers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a frequency, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you either tapped into it or you're not. You know what I'm saying? And if you're busy with the worldly stuff, it's gonna be really noisy and you're not even gonna be able to hear God. So when you pray, it's not even gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that stillness is important, man. And like I try to start my day with prayer and with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. Every day doesn't go as planned. You know, I got kids and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I definitely feel what you're saying, man. Powerful stuff, man. For you, man, walk me through an average day. What's it like?
Man, tons of hats, man. I was like, one point I'm at work, another point I'm a dad just like you, another point I'm husband, older brother, older son, right? Or I'm at the military, or I'm delivering a sermon because I'm a minister. Or I'm in Bible study, so I'm just like I'm juggling all these different, and then I'm doing music at the same time.
Yep. That's fire, bro. That's fire. What kind of made you want to go into ministry?
I was always had, so you know, I talked about it being in me, right? I always had the knack for being an encourager, right? And you know, it blended together once my spiritual side caught up, right? And it turned into me, you know, preaching the word, right? Me turning around and helping other people who felt like I felt at the time, where I was like, why should anybody care about me, right? Why does God find me worth it? Like, what's the point, right? And helping them understand, because God loves you, like just the definitive answer, like just because, right? There's no underlying mark, there's no fine print, right? It's just because He can.
He formed you in the womb, you know what I'm saying? Like He knows you, He created you to be who you are. You're wired exactly how you need to carry out your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it is, man. Let's talk about that for a second though, man. How is it balancing being in ministry and also being an artist? What are some of the things that you struggle with, and what are some of the upsides of it?
You know, it's crazy. I don't struggle with it at all. They actually like feed each other, and it's almost scary, right? So like the more I get further into the music, right, the deeper my spiritual connection, the crazier my pen keeps getting, right? And it's like they almost like blended in this crazy meshed way, right? And so it's like it's helping me stay consistent. And you know, I know people's probably not expecting that, but it did, because at first I was like, these two is gonna clash, right? Have not at all. The only thing that I do make sure of is that I still keep true to the principles of, like, you know, I'm not chasing this for fame, or I'm not turning around losing myself and talking about stuff that's not, you know, helping reinforce God's message, right, and stuff like that. So despite not being a gospel artist, right, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, hey, go dance in the club and all this stuff. Like, that's not coming out of my music, bro. Like, and I'm not knocking nobody who's doing that, but that's not coming out of me.
That's not your message. I completely understand, man. Is the music something that you keep separate from your ministry, or the people that know you as a minister, do they listen to
they know it. I get called Julian so many times. It's crazy.
Okay. That's dope. That's really dope, man, because, you know, in the same sense, like, you're able to kind of like connect with the younger audience as well in a different way that, like, you know, some pastors may not be able to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people really can't understand or communicate properly in regular conversation, but when they hear music, they could dissect that thing, and they tell you exactly what it's about, and, like, you know, the story behind it, and he said this because this and that, you know. So like, you being able to teach through the music, you know what I'm saying, is something completely special, man. Like, so
that's what I thought about, man.
Nah, for real. What's one place that you want to go to that you have never been to?
Surprisingly, still a couple things on the list. I know I want to go to Paris. Just once to turn around and say it, right? Just say, hey, I went there, right? I just want to go to Paris. Wow. I do I've been recently entertaining the thought process of going to places in the US that nobody ever like bigs up or talks about, like maybe like Utah or something like that. Okay. Like Utah, like all the places that don't get Yeah, like nobody talks about like Iowa. Like I just turn around and see like what's here. Why do these places don't get talked about, right?
Yeah. Hey, it might be a cheaper vacation too, bro. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to kill two birds, one stone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Two vacations in one. You know, hey, take that. For you, man, what projects are lined up next for you? What are you working on currently?
Funny you should say that. So I'm actually every year I drop an album in the beginning of the year, and towards the end of the year I drop what I call a motivational playlist. So I'm about to actually drop my motivational playlist on the 30th of this month, right? Called I Bet You Won't Listen. And that's dedicated to be an encouragement to like all independent artists, you know, people who's feeling like, well, I don't know if I'm getting anywhere in this, or maybe I should give up, or is this really worth it, or why do I feel like I can turn around and do this, right? And just kind of taking those people from this low point and like lifting them up, man. Like, hey, man, don't be so hard on yourself, right? It's a process, right? Music is not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? Anybody who tells you it's a sprint, run.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. Because I mean, there's always times, bro, to where it's gonna seem like it's not clicking. You know what I'm saying? There's always times to where it's gonna seem like you're lost. You know what I'm saying? But like those moments and what you do in those moments are what distinguishes between somebody that's gonna make it and be successful. And I don't mean success as far as like dollar amounts and things like that. I mean success as in actually happy in their craft and doing what they love and passionate about it. But yeah, like in those moments, you facing it and looking it head on, and you know, just praying to God for the wisdom and discernment, and just being able to move forward from there, bro. It's just like, that is what makes the difference, bro. And who's
that's how you find out if you that's how you find out if you love something, right? Like when it's not giving back, when it's not doing everything that it usually does, right? Can you still have the same consistency and love for it, right? Because then that's how you truly know you actually like are dedicated to this, right? If it's super easy for you to release a project and you see it gets 0 plays and you're like, that's it, I'm done, I shouldn't do this, right? You didn't love it to begin with, bro, because it's gonna happen. Everybody ain't gonna rock with everything that you put out. You know, some people gonna have criticism for certain things, right? You gotta be able to turn around and be like, nah, I'm not doing this for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I first started, bro, it was because I was bored with the radio. Like everything was starting to sound the same. So I was like, yo, I have to make my own music. It's up to me to lead this world. And I'm like, I'm gonna make the coolest music I'd ever heard before. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it started that way. I mean, of course I love the music that I make, but like, you know, I wouldn't say I'm that confident that it's like the most original thing out there, but like that's how it started for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, in this world, especially with social media now, man, like I think a lot of the younger generation, man, like they get hung up on the instant gratification. Like, yo, I got 0 plays on my shit. It must suck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, not really. You might want to look at your strategy. You might want to look at your marketing. You might want to look at what you're doing to put it in front of the right people. Because maybe you haven't done anything. Maybe you think the algorithm is just naturally going to make you a star. And I'm sorry to anybody that believes that. You know, there are stories to where the algorithm catapulted somebody, but that's a moment to where time and preparation meets. You know what I'm saying? Opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To me, I wouldn't set my expectation and hope that, like, you know, put all my eggs in one basket and hope for that. You know what I'm saying? I would just really work hard and just do what I love, bro. Keep it thorough, man. You know what I'm saying? For me.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm starting. I started to learn, right? Because that's where I was at first, right? I was like, I gotta be tons of people turning around and doing this stuff like that, right? Otherwise, nobody's gonna rock with me, right? And at the place that I'm at now, right? I'm more so now, especially now that I kind of like started developing more into getting like a marketing strategy out there and stuff. I've been putting out more content and stuff like that now, right? I'm more so let this find who's actually going to resonate with this. Because see, what people underestimate is a niche audience, right? A niche audience will catapult you way faster than thousands of people, because the niche audience is not just, I love your music. A niche audience is like, I have to tell everybody how great you are, right? A niche audience is like, oh, you doing a show here? I don't care if I'm 3 hours away, I'm coming to your show, right? A niche audience is like, oh, you put out this hat, I gotta buy the hat, right? So it's like, you know, people who's supporting you. It's not necessarily like zombie, like we ain't gonna talk about fanatics, right? But we're talking about like people who support you. They're like, hey, what you did resonated with me, and I want other people to turn around and see that, right? Hear that, feel that. And That's what I've been taught. I'll tell anybody now, right? That's what ultimately you should target for, right? Don't wait for the thousands of people, because those are the instant click people. Those people can leave within a day, right? They're not. Yeah, those are the trend people. Don't need the trend audience, right? Because at the end of the day, when you sat there, when you turn around, you wrote, or you punched in, whatever it is that you do, right? When you took that time, and you had to turn around to build up, and then you had to turn around to make the covers, you had to turn around to do the production, like all that is time. You mean to tell me you did all that time, right? To just worry about one person liking or not liking it? Nah, man, I put the time and effort into this, man. Tyler the Creator said it best. You did all of that, and you not gonna big up your stuff?
Yep. You gotta push it more than one time on release date, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put it out. But to be honest, man, it's like I said, the instant gratification thing is like a real thing with this younger generation, man.
Yeah.
Like they're not confident in themselves at all, and it shows, bro. But at the end of the day, with the numbers, man, like you got to be grateful for any stream that you get. You know what I'm saying? Like just in general, bro. Like somebody out there is listening to your music. Like it's all in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're telling yourself, I got 0 plays, nobody's listening to me, like of course you're gonna believe it. But like if you're like, I got 0 plays because I didn't push my stuff, then it's like, then I guess you got something new to do.
and that's also subjective, right? Because everybody has their platforms they shine at. Like for instance, my Instagram probably does a lot better than most of my other social media platforms, because it's so quick to get to me there, right? And then at the same token, I do better on SoundCloud than I do on Spotify. You go to Spotify, it's probably it's 17 people, even though I got like 79 or 100 listeners supposedly, right? But on my SoundCloud, it's like 1,500. My songs get to like 2K plays, 3K plays, right? So I don't think too much about where it's at. Like you go wherever your audience is where people's really gravitating you at, right? So if Spotify is not there yet, right, but SoundCloud is where it's at, right? Don't be shy about it and be like, oh, this is weak, I want to be better, big. No, be big on SoundCloud. SoundCloud has led to some of the biggest artists, Post Malone, Kalani, right? Like Billie Eilish came off. Like these are all SoundCloud people. I'm not making this up, right? Boozy, right? Little Uzi Vert. Like these are all people, SoundCloud.
XXX Tentacion, rest in peace. Nah, I feel it, bro. But at the end of the day, you have to learn by experience, and the ones who it's meant for, they're gonna figure out a way. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, they're gonna stick with it, and they're gonna try because they love it, like you said. What is your relationship with music theory? Do you play any instruments? Like, what is that like for you?
I tried playing the guitar at one point, and then I fell off. I got to get back on it, but I don't really like play instruments. However, I'm so in tune musically through my ear with music because I heard so much that I have this weird thing. And even my friend who's a producer says, your ear is weird, crazy, man. Like where I hear it, like I feel the emotions from the melodies and everything like that. And so like, I know where synth should turn around and be at, right? Or I know, so like I could recreate that using like a beat pad or whatever the case may be. Or if I had to turn around and like grab one of the little loop thingies and stuff like that and place it there, I can place it there and it'll be almost as if somebody turned around and played it, because it's like, I just like feel it.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, a lot of the people that you're self-taught, I assume, right?
Yeah.
For everything. Yep. A lot of the people that are self-taught, they go off of the vibe, the feeling. I'm self-taught too. I really don't know music theory, but I know that it's something that I need to work on as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens when you're self-taught, bro. And you're doing a whole bunch of other things. You spread thin, like your time. Like, of course, it's an amazing thing to set aside that time and be able to be dedicated and stuff like that. But not a lot of people with thin amounts of time can do that. Let's just say that, man. But
now I will say this though, right? I did take the course and stuff like that, and then there was one point where I was like reading up on certain things, and so what music, the definitions and terms and stuff like that for music theory or thought processes, that helps me in my music. Like I know when I should crescendo this, right, or I should turn around and de-escalate that, or monotone patterns and all this other stuff, like key areas, like the G key is gonna bring this emotion, the A key is gonna bring this. Like I know that portion, right? And
Where
so
did
I
you
will
learn
say.
that?
It will say I learned it on my own, man. I just turned around and was like, yo, I want to be able to do more than just grab a beat and then put it there, right? So I was like, I want to be able to change the beat if I want to, I want to be able to shift with the keys, right?
Yep,
I want to be able to stretch the bar out, right? Where it goes from an 8 pattern to a 4 count, right? Like,
yep.
so
I feel it.
so I know it. I know it a bit, but
I dig it. I dig it. What DAW do you use when you're producing?
so this is where I'm gonna get laughed at. But hey, hear me out, right? Hear me out. I use BandLab.
Okay. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I found out very early. It is not the DAW, it's the user. So if you find a DAW that you like groove with, man, you're gonna be able to make some really dope music. Cause all the music that you're listening to, that's all off of BandLab, right?
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Because it's like it lets me like be able to like piece different things, right, and put stuff together and be really experimental. So it's like it's feeding the creative nature I have in music. So it's almost like it was like a match made in heaven, man, where it's like, oh, you let me turn around and mix this here or play around with this, right? Like I don't have to be limited to you have to specifically do this. You have to specifically, like, BandLab's just like, here's all the parts, make something out of it. I was like, yeah, that's all I need.
Nah, I feel it. And I mean, you know, as you figure out different formulas for what it is that you're working on and different workflows and stuff like that, you know, like you'll figure out other ways that you can include other DAWs if you wanted to or not. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start working on, if you end up buying gear and stuff like that and like using the gear, you could find a way to mix BandLab with the gear and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and all that.
Exactly, man. So like, you know, don't let nobody tell you that it has to be a certain way, but like you said, you know, the gear does not matter. I like to look at the gear, like especially like the older gear, like, you know, the MPCs 2000,
analog stuff.
Analog stuff. I like to look at it like this. It limits you on what you're able to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like going into it completely different than like on a DAW and like where you know where everything is at. You kind of have to like play around with it and experience like, I don't know, it's a different thought process when you don't know where everything is at. So you start trying different things out and you're like,
experimental.
Oh, let me cut the sample this way or whatever, you know, you might micro chop the sample, you know what I'm saying? Like who knows, you know? But you know, sometimes accidents happen and then they're beautiful accidents, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I keep those in. I keep those in. Every time a happy accident happens, I keep it in.
You got to, bro. Especially if it sounds good, man. You got to. Any books that you're reading or that you have read that have changed your life forever?
Not necessarily books. I mean, I used to read a lot, but I don't read a lot as much anymore. But every now and again, I like tune into like messages or I'll hear different stuff on TikTok because I'm always trying to feed my perspective. So I always like trying to go on there and see, because people like to voice stuff a lot. So I like seeing different perspectives that other people talk about. And it kind of helps me generate my thought process. And I kind of reflect on that a little bit and think more to how, okay, what do I do with this information, right? How does this tie in? How can I make use of this, right?
That's fine.
So that's a lot of what I do most times.
Yeah, that's dope. So you basically use it as a source of inspiration to start writing from a different perspective, to where you can maybe either talk to somebody or reach a different audience than you wouldn't maybe necessarily reach. Yeah, I dig that, bro. That's real dope. What would you say is the best piece of advice that you've received, and who is it from?
Well, aside from the CEO that I told you about, there's one gentleman when I was working in warehousing, and he hit the best. It was so simple, but the best advice he ever turned around and gave me was, whatever you do, right, always do it at 110%, right? And he says, because you took the time to invest in it. You took the time to pay attention to it. So as soon as you moved, or as soon as you made the motion to commit to doing this thing, make sure it's worth your time.
Yep.
Right? Like don't just like go into it halfway stepping. Like just like commit. That's what he said. Just commit. Because you never know, that one thing that you commit to could be the one thing that turn around and changes the rest of the trajectory of your life.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with music, man. Like somebody stumble on the right thing. You know, it may not be
Yeah.
like you at the top of the charts, but you might you may get your stuff in some video games. You may get your stuff in some movie. You know, you never know. It's endless, especially with the internet, bro. It's endless possibilities. You never know who's out there listening. You know, how do you deal with moments of creative block?
Well, thankfully, I don't have those anymore. But when I did used to have them, the thing that I used to turn around and feel was the most helpful was to take the moment to enjoy something else, right? Because creative blocks for me in music, it means that I'm so shut into what I'm doing that I'm not experiencing life anymore. So I need to get off of this computer. I need to get out this book or my phone or whatever I'm doing, right? And just like tune into something else.
Yeah.
Right. And then oftentimes once I do that, right, the creativity will flow back because I'm not blocking the muse or the inspiration anymore, right? Because we can get so shut into the writing process, and I got to make this, and I got to release this before this, and I got to turn around and drop this, right? That's why I don't believe in the drop music all the time thing, because over time you're gonna find that it's just gonna die down, right? Like it's not gonna. There's some people, there's an exception, right? And maybe they can turn around and do that all the time, right? But I find it a lot better to do something, break away from it, do something, break away from it. That's why a lot of times I'm mainly doing like projects, or I really like albums because it puts me into a flow of a theme, right?
Yeah.
Versus I'm just making something. Yeah.
Nah, I dig it. Do you ever have moments of doubt, and how do you kind of navigate when you are stuck in a rut?
Oh man, yeah, the doubt can hit sometimes every now and again, especially when you're looking at stuff and you put everything you had into it. Like for instance, like in the Deep End 3, the last project I just turned around and dropped, right? I was expecting this to turn around and like go, like, right? And I had the marketing money for it. Something came up where I had to like break into the marketing money, and it ruined the momentum I had for that, right? And so it was like, man, because I had so many people featured on it, I talked such a great game, I did so much rollout promo for it, and I was like, oh, is this really where it's gonna fall at, right? But then I had to remind myself that music is a time-based setting, right? So even those people who you've seen go viral, right? They went viral after chipping away at their audience for a certain amount of time, right? You can't predict the virality of something, right? But you can turn around and control the consistency. And so just because it's not doing what it's supposed to do right now, right, doesn't mean it's not going to do what it's supposed to do later. And so if you take this moment to let this moment define you, and you relax on the consistency, then it's never going to do nothing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we're seeing it right now in real time with TikTok and stuff like that. Yeah. All of these songs that we grew up listening to, this young generation never heard or experienced before. Yeah. So like when somebody uses it in a TikTok and they're, doing their little dance or something like that or whatever, now all of a sudden this song from 1999 is back on the charts.
It's back on the chart.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there really is no like real way to do anything, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? And like in situations like that, to where like maybe you had a bag that you like wanted to drop on the album or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you could always revisit that and put that album in like people's hands one day, you know what I'm saying? So like I like to look at it like when you on your stride and you drop an album after album and stuff like that, the rest of the world will catch up. You know what I'm saying? It may take some time. Yeah, of course. But when those people that are tapped in, like the super fans and stuff like that, when they hear that like instant hit of dopamine that's speaking their language, they're going to go back and be like, yo, I need to see everything this person's ever done. I know I at least do that when it's like, when you hear a song for the first time and it hits, like you like stank face, like, yo, yeah, like, yeah, man. I'm like, I gotta hear everything this person ever done. I'm missing out on life, man. What's going on? You feel like you're late to the party. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's gonna happen.
And they just did that with Thomas, homeboy from Victorious, right? From now he's over here in the R&B lane and he's killing it, but he was doing music for like the matter of fact, he was writing for people. He was doing it for like the longest time, right? Now all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, look at this amazing artist. I mean, the one who's been doing it for like 15 years, that's crazy.
Yup. And you never gave him a shot. You never shared his video.
Right?
you never supported his release until you saw that label stamp on it. You saw he was signed with Motown. You was like, hey, you made it, my brother. Like, I always knew you could make it. And it's like,
I always knew you could do it.
Yeah, okay. For you, man, what would you say has been your biggest investment in music besides time?
The biggest investment in music, it used to turn around and try to be marketing, but now I've wind down on that. So the biggest investment in music is going into the creation of it, like the quality, so that way you can put the content around it, right? So it's been investing into creating videos that go behind the scenes about the album. Like I just turned around and did. Like I did a whole thing talking about me as an artist, right? So I invest more into that, right? And being able to create things like that. So that way when people come, those people who did find me or they happen to come across me, right? They're not coming into a blank area. They're like, oh, this is a whole universe I didn't know about, right? And they can already get into it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, because you're in real time documenting, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody could find this stuff later, you know what I'm saying? And it's always going to go, you know what I'm saying? When you have those people that are naturally interested, like I'm still watching the Alchemist interviews from like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still looking those things up. Yeah, exactly. I want to know everything. Like, bro, like how did he start being so fire at picking out the samples? Like, and you know, he's got his own little, you know, philosophies that he goes with, you know what I'm saying? One of the things he said was like, if a naked lady is on the cover of the vinyl, it's instant fire, classic, like samples. And it's like, that's something that he lives by. And ever since I heard that, you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's pretty true. So it's like, you know, you would only know that wisdom to where it's like, if you were there to soak up that game, bro, like to be honest, you know what I'm saying? So that's dope, man. You always got to do the research. I just wanted to share that, bro. Tell me your top 3 movies.
You got me on the spot, man.
Hey, it could be top 3 right now. We ain't gonna lock it in like over all time. You know, top 3. Right
I got
now.
you. Yeah. I know Transformers is one of them, right? I love Transformers. Mm-hmm. Another one was it was I can't remember the name of it, but it was an action movie. I think it had Jason Statham in it. I wish I could remember what it was.
Are you talking about The Beekeeper?
Oh, I think it's something before that. I think it was like, I don't know if it was like when he was Hitman.
Transporter?
Hitman. Yeah, Transporter. Yeah,
okay,
Transporter.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good series.
Transporter, and then Holes. Holes was a good movie. Like Disney. Yeah, I was like when Disney was like really putting out actual stuff, bro.
When I was a kid, my class had to read the book, bro. So like after we read the book, like some months later down the line, they made the movie. So it was like I went from like reading the book and like imagining this thing, like kind of like the, you know, the whole Harry Potter universe, but that's something completely different. But that
I didn't count that because that's a series. I ain't count that. That's
exactly. I feel it, man. For you, man, what are 3 of the albums that kind of inspired you to be the artist that you are right now?
Like from mine or from like somebody else's?
Somebody else.
So Eminem's album definitely especially when he turned around and he did the Eminem show. Not Eminem show, MMLP 2. When he did that, it's just like the method of storytelling is just spot on, right? And then another person who really influenced me with the album was Khan, right? Not a lot of people know that name, but he should be big, right? Khan did an album, and it was just like from the way he did his flows and he changed his stuff to the way that he kind of patterned the music and stuff like that, right? That hit me differently. Now the third one, I'm gonna throw everybody off, right? And it's actually funny enough, it's what influenced me to turn around and do In the Deep End 3.
Let's do it.
John Cena has a secret platinum album. Don't laugh. Go listen to it, and then see if you're still gonna laugh at me, right? He has a platinum album that he did, right? And it's so pure hip hop that I was almost embarrassed that this is coming from him, and not from somebody who's been doing this for like a good amount of years, man. So it like made me like I took it personal. Like I turned it to Michael Jordan and started having songs.
Nah,
I took that personally, right?
Man.
And so I was like, nah, I got to turn around and make something.
I feel that, man. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out, bro. You know,
it's called You Can't See Me.
You can't. Of course it is. Of course it's called that. You got to do the move, bro. Like
you got to do the move.
Yeah. Yo, so you know who kind of caught me off guard with that, man? Kobe Bryant, bro. He had an album that, and Shaq's album was fire too.
Yeah,
but Kobe's album, man, he had a track that he had 50 Cent on back in the days. Like, he had a track where he had Destiny's Child on. Like, he was going for full-fledged gangster rap, bro. Like, and I guess his agent must have told him, like, yo, Kobe,
don't do that.
Like, this is not good for the brand. Like, we don't want you getting shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Kobe, man. Like, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, man. Yeah, for real, man. Like, but just like hearing that, man, it just made it that much more special to me, man, because like, you know, a lot of people don't even know Kobe rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, being able to have that on vinyl and stuff, man, is a special experience, bro. For real, for real. Who is somebody that you would love to work with?
There's so many people. I mean,
man, help you
obviously. I'm thinking of a lot of people, right? You know, aside from Wu-Tang definitely somebody I want to work with. I just finished actually doing a remix to one of their songs off of their last album.
Okay.
And then, you know, Eminem's on top of the list, but there's like people like JID, right? Tech Nine, I would love to turn around and do something with. And then like not even just inside of the hip hop lane, right? There's like people like Thomas, right? I was like, you know, I like to do something with the Magic Dragons. Like I like all these, like there's so many, like I'm really big on not just like keeping hip hop in this weird box, because it was never in it in the first place. It used to take a whole bunch of different and sample it, right? So I'm really big on the New York mindset of hip hop, where like, yo, I want to take other stuff and flip it on its head. Like I want to take an emotional ballad, right, and make it into something crazy, right? Like,
nah, I feel it, bro. I feel it. And you know, one of my favorite, I guess you could say, like genres of rap right now, man, is like the drumless 70s soul samples, bro, to where like you got somebody singing in the background, singing their heart out to whatever girl that broke their heart, man. Like, you know, they're like, call me, you know what I'm saying? And somebody just spitting, rapping some hard bars, bro. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm like loving right now, bro. For you, bro, what's the most risky decision that you've made in your career, and how did it end up paying off?
Well, it actually did not pay off, but I'll still bring it up. The most risky decision I ever did was I tried to turn around and make a label, and I found out that there's people who claim to have a mindset to really build a business out of music, and when it's time to follow through, they won't, right? Me and my partner, we got everything that we needed. We put everything together, and all they had to do was help us create a product, right? We had the studio, we had the team, we had the great artists and everything like that. And all they had to do was pitch in, right? And we had to also pitch in for the marketing, right? Because everybody thought it was gonna come from my pockets. It's not coming from my pockets, right? I'm gonna market it, but I can't like put the budget for it, right? And so when it was time to turn around and do all of that, everybody kind of like froze up and then dispersed. And that was the end of that.
Nah, I feel it, man. I mean, as it should be, bro. You know, like God works in mysterious ways, man. Sometimes certain things don't pan out because, like, if it would have got to a certain extent, man, you know, maybe it could have got messy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, everything happens for a reason, man. So, you know, don't beat yourself up about that, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm past it now.
Nah, I feel it. What would you say is your most memorable moment on the come up?
Ooh, there's a lot. I mean, even just recently, I had one where I had another music interview on Repost Exchange, which was cool because I've been on their charts. I've been doing stuff a lot on there, and so they acknowledged me and they let me turn around and do an interview on there, right? So that was a cool, memorable moment. Another one is I helped a friend be able to do a performance at the Grammy Museum.
That's fine.
I just used like my free hotel points. I helped her turn around and get the voting stuff that she needed, and she was able to go and perform at the Grammy Museum. And it was pretty cool to kind of see. I helped her get to that moment, and she was able to kind of have that experience. right?
That's
and then the last one, I'll give one more. I did a cool performance a while back where I was first like trying to get back into the groove of being on stage. I turned around and got on there. I opened because the people were running late, so I had to like save face and help everybody. So they ended up putting me ahead of time, and so I opened. And I ended up singing my song, and like deep into the song, everybody started singing the lyrics. They're like, yeah.
That's fire. That's fire, bro. That's fire. Hey man, it's always dope when it could go full circle, especially at like live performance and stuff like that, man, because it's like you feel that energy right back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. You put music up on streaming platforms, people find it whenever they can, they listen to it whenever they have time, things like that. But when you're in real time playing your music for people, they either gonna vibe or they not. You know what I'm saying? And either way, it helps you because like you're able to see, okay, this type of crowd may have been like a rock show or something like that, or like, you know, maybe not necessarily hardcore rap or whatever. This is how that crowd reacted to this song or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like it kind of gives you micro information about like what audience to push your songs to, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it really helps out. No, I definitely rock with the live performance stuff, man. But we got less than a minute left, bro. Before we go, I just want to ask you if you could give yourself some advice when you first started making music, what would it be and why?
Make sure your music is grounded in the spirit, because that's the place where ultimately all your songs is going to turn around to come from, by we connect with that. And also, don't get so caught up on where the destination is, but definitely focus more so on the journey. Because the destination is already set, but it means nothing if there was no journey behind it, right? You have nothing to tell once you get there.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate the journey, man, because you know you only get to live once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, YOLO.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anybody even still remember that word? I don't think anybody remember that.
Hey, I do, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was a very cringe moment of my life. I'm gonna just say that, bro. When I was going around talking about some YOLO, man, that influenced some bad decisions. I ain't even gonna lie. That whole thing, that whole movement, man. I'ma just blame Drake. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. That was a hold my beer moment.
Right, going around talking about YOLO, like doing some bad stuff. Man, get out of here. Nah, man, but for real, man, I appreciate you taking some time, you know what I mean, to chop it up with us. Let us know how you first got started with music, man, for real. And I'm definitely gonna be on the lookout for what you got coming next in that playlist that you was talking about, man, for real.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely,
thank you for having me on here.
No doubt, my brother. God bless, my brother.
Bless. Peace out, man.
Yes, sir.